Listen up, folks, because driver Max Verstappen has kicked off the first practice for the 2023 Dutch Grand Prix on a high, continuing his dominant form from before the summer break. He topped the timesheets, followed by Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin and Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. The session proceeded without major incidents, except for the crash of Nico Hulkenberg, who was confirmed as a Haas driver for 2024 the day before. Verstappen and Hamilton encountered traffic on their fast laps, affecting their lap times. Hamilton's first attempt with new soft tyres was ruined by Hulkenberg's crash. Verstappen went off at turn 11 on his last fast lap, but managed to return to the pits safely. It seems that Aston Martin may have made improvements with their upgraded AMR23, as they managed to compete with Mercedes and stayed ahead of McLaren. Moreover, the Dutch Grand Prix marks the return of Formula One after the summer break and is the first of the 10 remaining races of the season. Verstappen is aiming for his 9th consecutive victory, which would equal Sebastian Vettel's record set in 2013 with Red Bull. There is speculation among Red Bull's rivals and the F1 community about whether Verstappen and the RB19 can be beaten in 2023, as Red Bull has won all races this season, including the sprints. And note, the weather forecast for the weekend is set to change, with rain predicted for Saturday and Sunday. Blimey! And there you have it, folks. This is Enzo, your host here on F1 Motor Fever Podcast, the podcast that airs every day at noon and 4 o'clock, bringing you the lowdown on the hot topic in the world of Formula One. Today we have with us our beloved commentator, William. Say hello, William.
Hello, Enzo. Hello, F1 Motor Fever Podcast folks. I'm looking forward to discussing today's news.
That's the spirit, William. Folks, if you enjoy our podcasts, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, leave your comment and share with friends and family. This really helps us to keep bringing this content to you. You won't believe the fresh news we have today. It's about Formula One and it has to do with the Dutch Grand Prix. It's news that will make your jaw drop. And this news is relevant to us, Formula One fans, as it gives an insight into what we can expect for the rest of the season. So, hold on to your hats. Foot down. Hold on tight. Here we go. Felipe, Vicente, roll the jingle. Continuing, folks, Formula One champion Max Verstappen led the first practice session for the 2023 Dutch Grand Prix, following the summer break. Fernando Alonso of Aston Martin came in second, while Lewis Hamilton was the third fastest in the Mercedes. Hamilton had his first attempt with new soft tyres interrupted by the crash of Nico Hulkenberg, who was confirmed as a Haas driver for 2024. Verstappen was on his final lap when the checkered flag was waved and went off at turn 11. But he returned to the pits unscathed.
Enzo, why are new soft tyres important on a fast lap?
William, only you could ask that question. Everyone knows that soft tyres provide more grip and therefore allow drivers to do faster laps.
I know, Enzo, I know. But think about our listeners who are just starting to follow Formula One. They might not know this.
William, you're going to make our listeners change the channel.
Never, Enzo. I believe that even the obvious can be interesting, especially for those who are learning.
Let's move on to the next round, folks. Several teams arrive in Zandvoort with upgrade packages on their cars. Red Bull brought a revised rear wing, while Mercedes brought a new edge to the car floor, a revised side pod inlet and a new rear wing. McLaren, which has taken a turn in the season since Austria, brought a new rear wing for its MCL60 with a revised rear wing as well.
Enzo, just to clarify, are these upgrades you mentioned like improvements to the parts and components of the cars?
Exactly, William. For example, the new edge for the car floor that Mercedes brought is a modified part to improve the car's aerodynamics, which can result in better high-speed performance. And Aston Martin, which is trying to regain its early season form, brought a major upgrade to its AMR23, which includes a new floor body, floor edge, floor fence and a new diffuser. Haas also brought new features, with a new front wing and nose, as well as a revised rear corner, hoping to solve their tyre issues.
And these improvements, Enzo, do they make a big difference in the performance of the cars during the race?
Absolutely, William. For example, Haas's new front wing and nose can improve the airflow around the car, which reduces drag and can result in higher straight-line speeds. The revised rear corner can help improve the car's stability in high-speed corners. Speaking of upgrades and innovations in cars, that reminds me of the inventions of the Wright brothers. It was in 1903 that they made the world's first motorized flight. Just imagine, those two brothers there in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, kickstarting the whole aviation industry we have today.
Hey, Enzo Watts, I think you got a bit lost in the subject there, didn't you?
Ah, that's true, William, I apologize, I got a bit carried away with the history of aviation. Let's get back to our Formula One track. Where were we? Ah yes, talking about the upgrades made by the teams to their cars. Well, William, with everything we've talked about so far, what do you think of these evolutions and innovations in the world of Formula One?
I find it fascinating, Enzo. The technology and the continuous effort to improve and evolve really impress me. It's amazing to see how small changes can have a big impact on the performance of the cars and the strategy of the teams.
Yes, and watching the practices in Zandvoort, we see how crucial this pursuit of innovation is. Verstappen was running with quite a bit of fuel in his car, setting a serious race pace in his RB19, faster than Hamilton in the Mercedes by 4/10, and soon went into the pits to switch to soft tires and do some qualifying simulations.
Yes, and I think it's interesting to note also the issue of race strategy. It's not just about speed, but also about how to best use the resources and conditions of the car.
Exactly, William. And in a not-so-happy event of the session, Hulkenberg brought the first red flag of the session by throwing his Haas after losing the rear at turn 14 and ending up in the barriers. Hulkenberg's crash interrupted Hamilton's fast lap with soft tires, as the Mercedes driver had marked 2 purple sectors before the German driver's crash. It's worth noting that Hulkenberg didn't seem to be comfortable with his VF23 during FP1, as his teammate Magnussen had the upper hand early on. Well, let's take a look now at the final results of the practices. Verstappen came in first, with a time of 1 minute and 11 seconds and 852 thousandths. He was 28 hundredths faster than Alonso, who came in second, while Hamilton was a further 9 hundredths behind the Spaniard, in third.
Yes, and Sergio Perez came in fourth, 471 thousandths off his teammate's pace. Alex Albon of Williams had a pleasant surprise, finishing fifth.
Lando Norris of McLaren came in sixth, 608 thousandths off the pace, while Sargent came in seventh. Oscar Piastri came in eighth, 198 thousandths behind Norris and 91 thousandths ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who was the ninth fastest.
And to complete the top 10, Esteban Ocon was 950 thousandths off the final pace. George Russell came in 11th in the number 63 Mercedes.
Looking at the other results, Charles Leclerc came in 16th, and Schwartzman came in 19th for Ferrari. These were certainly interesting results, and it gives us a good overview of what to expect on race day.
Definitely, Enzo. This shows that even the smaller teams can surprise and give the big teams a run for their money. Let's wait and see how this will unfold.
William, how about we see what people on the internet are commenting about Formula One today?
Great idea, Enzo. There's a comment here from user Slug for Pringles. They said, Ricciardo holding his injured wrist hand after his FP2 crash.
Is there any more discussion going on about this?
Yes, a lot of people are commenting on this. For example, Avant376 said, when the track officials approached him and asked if he was okay, he shook his head no. It's not looking good for him. And Eni added, there was a lot of uncensored swearing on his radio too.
Wow, it seems like the crash was quite serious.
Yes, and there's an interesting discussion here. Just for White mentioned that Ricciardo said, ah shit, my hand. And apparently he was in a lot of pain inside the cockpit.
And what are people saying about this?
Dementorpoop said that this is worrying, because usually minor injuries show up later when the adrenaline wears off. The fact that he felt it immediately suggests that the injury could be serious.
Indeed, this doesn't seem to be good news. Anything else?
Yes, Karma Killaba lamented the incident and said, what a shame. I hope it's nothing serious. But soon after, STQ66 informed that Ricciardo had to go to the hospital to check his hand.
We hope he's okay. Any prediction of return?
According to STQ66, Ricciardo broke his wrist and won't be able to race at least this weekend. He will be replaced by Liam Lawson.
What a situation, William. The sport is full of surprises, not always pleasant ones. but we're rooting for Ricciardo to recover soon and get back on the tracks.
Definitely, Enzo. The sport is full of challenges and adversities. Let's hope he recovers well and comes back even stronger.
And we've come to the end of another episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast. Today we talked a lot about the details of the last race, and it was amazing to be able to share all of this with you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications and, of course, interact with us in the comments. This makes all the difference to us and helps us always bring the best content to you. And of course, spread the word about F1 Motor Fever podcast out there, in your circle of friends, at the dinner table, on social media. Your participation is crucial to us.
That's right, Enzo. And don't forget, we're here every day, at noon and 4 o'clock. We always have lots of interesting topics to discuss and we're eager to share everything with you. Oh, and get ready because lots of news is on the way.
And of course, we would like to thank our amazing technical team, especially Felipe and Vicente, who are always behind the scenes making everything happen. We're already looking forward to the next episode.
That's right, Enzo. Now it's time to say goodbye. Remember, pedal to the metal and eyes on the track, our channel always takes the flak. Until next time, folks.
Roll the jingle, folks. Until next time.